Could the Detroit Lions use a receiver that said he was better than Calvin Johnson? A receiver that said he was going to put numbers on the Lions and just destroy Calvin Johnson on the field, and Calvin Johnson proceeded to out-jump the entire Dallas Cowboy defense, score several touchdowns while picking up 300-plus receiving yards that whole game. Talk about Dez Bryant. Could the Lions use him? We back. Motor City Sports Talk. We in the building. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Mr. Montgomery, who always is the first in the comment section, and with Logan as well. I want to give y'all two special shout out. I've been meaning to do that. But Dez, if you haven't seen Dez Bryant, he's not synonymous with the top 10 receivers. I argue with that somebody all year. I told him Dez wasn't even a top 20 receiver. And obviously, people started to see that last year, especially with Skip Bayless and the Undisputed Show with Shannon Sharp, where they started breaking down how limited he was, couldn't run routes, couldn't play in the slot, couldn't run past anybody, and was a product of probably Tony Romo make him better than what he was. But obviously, he lost a step, couldn't run routes. I mean, now he got cut. Obviously, he had a big salary. He got cut, and now he wants to get with a receiver coach and do this different. And I think he said that he want to consider playing with the Giants. Obviously, to stick it to the Cowboys, in my opinion. But could he help us? At this point, no. Unless an injury happened, I think T.J. Jones might plug in and be better than him because he's used to the system. He's still athletic, and he made a lot of big catches. Dez Bryant don't have a lot of explosion left. He never was the fastest guy, straight line, but he was an athlete. He was a good punt returner at one point. Especially in college, and just the foot injuries and losing a step really hurt him. When you become an older receiver or an older athlete in general, you're supposed to be able to be intellectually on another level, mentally higher than a lot of young guys that's faster than you to be in a position to be successful. He's supposed to learn how to run routes better, how to run off the line. He's supposed to go the Larry Fitzgerald route. Larry Fitzgerald was in the same mode as Dez Bryant. Not the fact Dez Bryant was more athletic than Larry Fitzgerald, but Fitzgerald, perfected his craft. He learned to run the routes. He learned to accept his role into the slot and dominate the slot. He had a lot of big games last year and the last couple years, and that's the best prospect for Dez Bryant. But Dez Bryant will never have the hands of Larry Fitzgerald. He had never had a professionalism of Larry Fitzgerald. He had never been a route runner of Larry Fitzgerald. In my opinion, Larry Fitzgerald's a top 5 receiver all time. That's my opinion. So, from that point, no, Dez Bryant cannot help us. Before that even comes up, the Lions fans are very optimistic about big names coming here, especially when they washed up. This guy can't do nothing for us. He goes somewhere else and tear it up next year. Big ups to him. But he looks like a receiver that should be, playing next to Oscar the Grouch in the garbage can at this point. If you want to get up, work, and do some hard work, and get back to form and get back to a salvageable receiver, yeah, he can do that on somebody else's salary, but not in Detroit. We don't need him. We got 3 or 4 receivers better than him. I'll take Galladay, Marvin Jones, Jr., Golden Tate, and T.J. Jones over him at this point. I mean, shit, this guy is, man, I don't know. I mean, who gonna pick him up? They're gonna have to be a veteran quarterback like Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, who can throw him open and can understand, his limitations. Dak Prescott couldn't understand his limitations. Period. He didn't know what tickled his fancy. He needed to call Tony Romo and how to stroke Dez. No homo. You know what I'm saying? Show him how to tickle his fancy, how to get him open, how to get him fired up, what he like, what he don't like. I'm pretty sure Dak could have went to him, but maybe him and Dez wasn't on a speaking basis. You feel me? But at the end of the day, he can't help us, man. He can't at this point, man. He can go somewhere. Oakland would be a good fit for him, perhaps. Denver, New York Giants, New York Jets, somewhere. Mainly with a marquee quarterback: Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr. I think those are 3 destinations for him. Period. He don't need to be like a guy with the Redskins with Alex Smith. The Eagles, they got a lot of receivers. They probably can use another one. That's gonna be another one for him. Obviously he wants to stick to Jerry in Dallas, and Jerry loved him like a son. He liked 88, but it's a business. Can't pay him all that money. He's not producing, but he ain't gonna be in Detroit. Not a fit here. No way, amigo. I think this guy's career is done with. I don't expect a rebirth from Dez Bryant. And I don't expect him to do anything in silver and blue. We gone.